When it comes to exercise, there are several benefits, from physical, health, and even psychological. Now, there are certain recommendations to help improve or maintain health and fitness, which is like 30 to 60 minutes a day, at least 5 days a week at a moderate intensity, or 3 days a week at 20 to 60 minutes at high intensity, or a combination thereof of 3 to 5 days a week, combining both moderate and vigorous physical activity. Now, as far as the psychological benefits, there are several, from improved memory, enhanced mood, reduced anxiety, and exercise is definitely, I think, really underlooked when it comes to mental health care. I mean, therapy and medication seem to be the two biggest components, but I do feel like there's a lot to gain by including an exercise prescription program in one's mental health care program. And with that being said, there are 3 important variables that should be considered when exercising. And those variables are one's environment, the intensity level, and of course their mode of exercise. And the first one being one's environment. Now, depending on what has caused someone's depression, or what makes them feel lonely, or what makes their symptoms worse, you've got to consider what the other individual likes to do to escape their wounds. You got to think of the other individual. Like, for instance, let's say you've got an individual who really likes being around other people, and they've suffered the loss of a loved one, or their spouse, or family member, or friend, and they need to be around other people. Well, their best way to get their exercise is probably if they're doing a team sport, or doing like a sport that involves doing it with a partner, like tennis, or perhaps maybe doing their activity like in a race, like participating in like some big event where there's a lot of participants, or maybe going to a crowded gym. On the other hand, some people prefer to seek solitude for whatever reason, and on that hand, you might want to just consider prescribing them exercise and encourage them to maybe find their favorite places to go hiking, or maybe their favorite bike route that's a little more secluded. Or maybe they're really stressed out. You're probably not going to want to suggest to that person that they go cycling in the city with all the hustle and bustle and everyone all stressed out. You probably want to suggest an environment that's more secluded, free from the stresses of city life. So it depends on someone's background. Now, the second component to consider with exercising and helping to alleviate depression is intensity level. And this is the one component that you really got to use caution with, because although it's really great to do a lot of high intensity exercise, you've got to be really cautious about overtraining and injuring oneself due to overtraining. And it can sideline a person for weeks, even months, if done improperly. And with that being said, overtraining can also cause someone to feel even more depressed and a little bit more anxious. So although it's definitely a great way, especially if you're someone out there who's suffering from a lot of stress, a lot of frustration, or have a lot of pent-up anger, I can understand. It feels really good to crank up that wattage on the bike, or maybe bust out some power sets at the gym, or maybe do some track workouts. And I'm all for that, but just use a little bit of caution when doing a lot of high-intensity exercise. And of course, the third and perhaps maybe the most important component when it comes to exercising and helping to reduce depression and or anxiety is the mode. Now, what you guys do for exercise, you want it to be fun. If it's not any fun, you're not going to get any benefits from whatever exercise you do. So whether it's playing a team sport, or whether it's getting a group of friends and playing some frisbee, maybe 500, or maybe it's going for a cycling ride, or maybe it's going for your favorite ski tour, or maybe some of you out there want to try out for your high school football team. You've always wanted to play a sport, a rough sport. Whatever your choice of activity, it has to be fun, because if it's not fun, then what's really the point of doing it? And with that being said, now I know I mentioned some guidelines to reap the benefits of health and of course maintaining or improving fitness. Now, as far as the psychological benefits, Well, I feel all it takes, and I've even seen this in the research, it just takes just a few minutes of some physical activity to just uplift your mood and to just kind of feel a little bit better. Whether you're a little bit angry, whether you're sad, frustrated, just doing a few minutes of exercise can help quite a bit. And sometimes it just helps to be really creative, because you just never know the environment that you're in, that maybe you can think of, I'm going to be active for a few minutes. I'm just going to do something, kind of get my heart rate up, kind of put my body under some stress. And so with that being said, it's just, doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have, it's just a matter of being really creative with your exercising. And you just want to have it be fun. And as I said, all it takes is really just a few minutes. And making note of that, I wonder how fast, or how long it would take me to really go from here, swim across, climb up that, jump off that, swim back, climb back up here, and come over here. Probably a few minutes. I bet it's time we find out, shall we? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And voila! Just like that, you can be in that much better of a mood. So, any of you out there who's feeling just a little bit down, whose depression or anxiety is getting the best of them, doesn't have to resort to jumping off a rock onto water. Just go out there and go for like a 4 to 5 minute brisk walk. Or maybe just start doing some push-ups or some sit-ups. So to all of you out there struggling, fighting another day, I commend you. And with that being said, go get out there, put yourself in a better place. And to all of you out there, happy exercising.